everyone. Oh my God, it's amazing. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
I think it sounds different up here than it sounds out there. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. My heart is bursting at the love and support in this room. We want to thank our sponsors, Colorado Health Foundation and Denver Family Institute. We want to thank Prodigy for hosting us and for the amazing work they're doing in the community. Thank you, Stephen, aka Yuka Soul, for your amazing contribution and your amazing being. Thank you, Erica Prieto and Prieto's Catering. She left, but let's give Erica a hand. That food was amazing, the incredible spread. And thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for everything you've given. It's just so incredible to know that you believe in us. And even more than that, believe in the work, in the power of the arts, of writing, of story. I'm deeply honored and humbled, and to be completely honest, a little bit terrified. I was like, should I put that in my speech? Imagine everyone slowly sliding their wallets into their pockets. But when we lead workshops, we ask people to be incredibly vulnerable and open and honest, to really lay themselves bare. And it didn't feel quite right not to do the same. And I was talking to a dear friend of mine about this, and they said, Courtney, I think I'd be a lot more worried about you and about Sidewalk Poets if you weren't scared. I've started and built a lot of things, built a business, created courses, taught in many, many places, and in this conversation, this friend said, in all of that, I've never heard you use the word terrified. And they said, and because of that, I know you're on the right track. Because it's scary to do the thing you most love. To try and create the thing that you look out and say, this isn't here, and it should be. It's scary to look at the world and see a hole. To say, this should be different, this should be better, this isn't right, this should exist. And then to actually try and fill that hole, to build that thing, to make something, imperfect though it may be. And to learn from that process, to make mistakes, to fail, to try again, to keep going, to be humble enough to learn your blind spots. You guys, it's really scary. And inspiring and motivating and humbling to bring all of you along with us, to have you invest financially, but also with heart and with spirit. Because it's scary because we don't want to let you down. But more than that, we don't want to let down the people who deserve to tell their stories, who deserve to have their voices heard and valued and remembered and honored. The people who deserve access to the power of the arts and don't get it. The people who deserve to have their stories amplified, but they aren't. Abby and I believe so fervently and passionately in the power of story. To heal, to empower, to transform individuals and also communities, and truly to transform and change society and the world. I led a writing group for several years up until COVID started at the Gathering Place shelter for women and trans folk dealing with houselessness and poverty. And every Thursday, I would be just floored, just blown away by the stories, by the people in that room. Stories of what they'd lived or were living, stories of loss, of pain, of trauma, stories of overcoming, of resilience, of hope, stories set on other planets, stories about talking park benches, stories about love, about the richness and tapestry of human experience, stories of fullness. The talent in that room, the vulnerability, the willingness to both share and bear witness to each other, it brought me more, it taught me more than I probably ever taught them. but there's a reciprocity, a mutuality, a communal exchange, a collaboration. And what I think I'm trying to get at, to capture, is that our work at Sidewalk Poets, we hold the container, the space, and the art, the writing, the imagination, the story. It does the work. It's the magic. Our society tends to treat art, imagination, writing, ideas, creation as something either childish, superfluous, and unnecessary, or something for the chosen few. It's something we do on the side after our real work is done, something for when we have time, something for the privileged. But the truth is, art and story and creation are as vital to humans as food, as nourishing, as family. For one thing, studies are showing that using the creative arts in therapeutic ways is associated with a 36% reduction in symptoms of depression, a 27% reduction in symptoms of anxiety, a 28% increase in feelings of positivity and hopefulness. I don't know the stats for Prozac, but I know that we have a lot less side effects. And according to the Mental Health America's annual review, Colorado ranked 51st, that's dead last, in the nation for mental health when it comes to need for care versus access to care. And we're not therapists, to be clear, but offering accessible and free support through the arts is one powerful way to begin to close that gap. And for another thing, numbers aside, as humans, we come to understand ourselves and each other through story. They say it's impossible to hate someone if you know their story. Mary Lou Kownacki put it another way. She said, "There isn't anyone you couldn't love once you've heard their story." We build our world through story, the stories we tell and the ones we omit, the stories of a future we allow ourselves to dream into or not. When someone tells their story, they realize they can change it, expand it, edit it, write a whole damn new one. When we begin to hear new stories, to listen, the edges of our possible world grow. The incredible fantasy sci-fi writer N.K. Jemisin wrote, "But these are just stories," some of you will say. Is it not a stretch to label this revolution when only a few of these stories feature people getting shot up against a wall? To which I reply by pointing at human history. The most revolutionary changes in our world have rarely been imposed quickly or violently, after all. And the gun has not been the primary instrument of lasting change. Ideas are far more dangerous to the status quo over the long term. Stories are the means through which we ponder the slow, ongoing revolutions of the present and foreshadow, or in